Hello. This video will show you how to set up your gradebook if you are copying an exact gradebook setup from a prior year or most of a prior year's setup for ease of not having to retype in all of your categories and assignments. I will tell you before we get started on this, we need to be super careful before doing this because there is no undo feature. And so if you copy over an entire list of assignments and categories from a prior year, there's no way to go back and undo that. You would have to go and by hand delete each one of those individually, and that has happened before. So let's assume that I'm going to set up my Math 1 class exactly the same way as I set it up last year. I need to make sure that I'm in my gradebook, that I am on the correct spreadsheet. So I'm in Q2 semester 1 because that's the grading period for that class. Integrated Math 1 period 5 and the semester. And I am going to open up my settings tab and I'm going to go down to my gradebook tools. It's super important that you do the category copier before the assignment copier. If you do the assignment copier first, you copy over every assignment from the prior year, but they don't have any buckets to put them in. So you just get them all individual and then you have to go assign them one by one to your categories. So let's do the category copier first. We are going to copy from last year's gradebook setup. And I'm going to copy from my last year's 5th period, first semester Math 1. Again, really important that you think about that. If your classes are set up in different semesters like ours are in math, you wouldn't want to copy your second semester categories over to your first semester class or something like that. I have all of those categories from last year. So coursework formative, unit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and final exam. And I'm going to say next because I want all of those. If I hadn't wanted one of them, I could unclick it. Now notice it says select the sections I want to copy that to. So I would like to copy that to my 5th period, first semester Math 1 class, and my 5th period, or sorry, my 7th period, first semester Math 1 class. Again, we have to be careful here. Hit copy, and it did it. I can check to make sure it did it by going to categories and seeing all of my categories. So I've got some from my other video where I had set up my Legacy 2000 categories. I can see these are all of my grading categories for all of my sections. If I want to see if it worked for Math 1, I can see that it did. I can double check to make sure that my weights were correct. I've got 10% coursework formative, 10% final exam. The other 80% was split amongst those 6 units, and we are good to go. So now I want to get into my assignment copier. And if I'm going to be doing, I know that they're basically the same assignments from last year. They're going to be basically the same due dates, all of those kind of things. I don't think it's going to happen this year because we're in a different learning environment, but we're going to say I'm going to get those from the source, which was last year's integrated Math 1 section. Again, double check to make sure you're getting the right semester and the right course. And now I can go through all of my assignments that were in that course, and I can select the ones, unselect the ones that I don't want, and I can say, where do I want it to go? Well, I want it to go to that section of my Math 1. Hit next. And it takes a little bit. That was actually pretty fast. I could now go see, it tries to do its best job to see if match the due dates of what they will be for this year. Those are going to be off a little bit probably, so you want to go back and you can change those. I go next, and I can adjust individually any of them that I want to here. And I hit save, and it's going to copy all of them, and I'll pause the video so you don't have to watch this. And after an indeterminate amount of time, you'll see that it's copied all 51 of those assignments. And I can go now, if I want to copy it to another section, I can go back and go through that same procedure of copying all of those assignments to maybe my 7th period math one as well. I won't do that right now. So I can be done with that. And now when I look at this grade book, I can see that I have all of my assignments for the entire year, or for the entire first semester, all set up and ready to go. I can still add them by going to the add function, add new ones to it. If I have a new assignment that I want to put in there. So I can add those in wherever they need to go, into whatever category they need to go as well, making sure that I collect the right standard task, which is semester, right point values and multipliers, following all of those rules. I'm not going to do that right now. The other thing I can do is if I get partway through the semester and I realize that, oh, this one isn't going to happen this time, as long as there's no data associated with it yet, I can click on the assignment itself and delete it. And it'll ask me if I'm sure, and I am sure. All right, so we see that we've got our assignments, but the gradebook still doesn't look quite right because I don't see my summary scores. So the single most common mistake that we all make is forgetting to do the grade calc options. So when you click on grade calc options right here, it will give you this blank screen. You just hit continue down at the bottom right. And I need to actually tell it to calculate a grade. So I'm going to go to in progress grade. I'm going to select the grading scale of Adams 12 standard. I think that's what we all pick. And I'm going to tell it to weight the categories. You need to make sure you tell it to do that. I'm going to hit save, and magically, ta-da, you see that we have the actual units that get calculated in here as I put scores in. You get the live updated grade that happens as well. So if I just give this girl a couple of scores, get her that in there, give her a couple of unit test scores. See that as I do that, it starts populating these categories right here. And so we can see what she's got so far in the coursework formative category, unit 1, unit 2, and so on and so forth, as well as her overall grade. You'll notice that her sparkline graph is also on, which doesn't really do much for me. So I'm going to turn that off. And it just gives it a nicer look, I think. But if you want to see that, you can see that. All right, that's all for that video. Thanks for watching.